Oh, Jesus Christ, I love professional wrestling. January 7th edition of AEW Dynamite just ended. There was a lot going on. And it starts off with an old face, an old friend, an old loved one, JR. He's back. He's in the table, at the table, on the table, behind the table, doing commentary all night. Brought in his entry music as always, as you should. It's, they gave him the good introduction. They brought him out. The crowd popped for him. Everything was golden. Then we immediately smash cut to Don Callis and Ricochet having a little chat and saying, oh, there's no hit. I don't know what you're talking about. Hit on who? Nobody's been hit. There's no hit on people. It's fine. I'm cool with it. The stuff that Don Callis is doing right now is interesting, and Ricochet, big mark. So let's move on from there. We started the night off, first match of the night, Moxley versus Shelton Benjamin. It was a Continental Eliminator match. It was a lot of back and forth, two big men slapping man meat. That's what it was. That's what it always will be. That's what we love to see. Shelton suplexed Mox on the outside. There was a little bit of a weird botch in that match. I only noticed it because I was paying attention. But the camera, they were on the wrong camera while it was going on. Shelton went to kick Mox. Mox caught it, threw his leg. He did the spin to come around to get the kick, and he was about that far off. And Mox still sold it because he's a professional. Well, both these men are professionals, and they're better than this. But it's fine. We move on from there. It's okay. No problem. Because it was an eliminator match, there was a 20-minute time limit. And if the time limit hit, then Benjamin would automatically get a shot at the Continental title. It came down to 19 minutes and 55 seconds, supposedly, according to the commentators, where Benjamin had Mox in a triangle choke, and then Mox just kind of stood up and rolled Benjamin into a pin, got the 1-2-3 with 5 seconds left on the clock. I'm pretty sure that match went closer to 23 minutes, but doesn't matter. Plot lines, people. There was a promo package from Wrestle Kingdom where Okada traveled back home and had a match with Tanahashi, and Tanahashi lost and is now officially retired, but apparently he went out with a bang, which, awesome. Thank you for all the wonderful matches over the years, Tanahashi. Continue to run things from behind the scenes. We love you. We respect you. Have a great retirement. Stop hurting yourself. Your knees are already shot. Knock it off. After that, we had the Demand. So Ricochet was out with Bishop Khan and Toa Leona. I know their names. I just couldn't think of them 2 weeks ago. Sue me. And they took on Jack Perry and mystery tag team trio partners, the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks came out in old-fashioned gear with their old awesome ring entrance, and they were tasseled and bedazzled to the nines. So that was a pretty good match. It was all Bucks and Jack for a while. Bishop Khan at one point got the upper hand on Jack and was just hammer throwing him from the ring apron into the guardrail, back into the ring apron, back into the guardrail, back and forth for about 37 seconds. And then when he let go, Toa Leona came charging in and did a shoulder tackle and sent Jack into the timekeeper's area. And so Jack was out for a little bit, but the Young Bucks picked up the slack. Super kick parties for everybody. All sorts of shenanigans. The old Bucks are back. They're baby faces again somehow. They have such an ability to just go from hated heel to beloved babyface in 2 weeks, and I respect it. So, there was I don't know what they're calling this. I don't think I've actually heard them use a term for it, but when Jack gets thrown to the corner, and then does the run up the turnbuckles and does the backflip and immediately grabs his opponent and goes into a German suplex. I love that. I don't know what they're calling it. I don't know if they're going to call it anything ever besides the backflip German suplex thing. That's what I'm just going to call it. But he pulled off another one of those, and they get better and better every week, and I'm here for it. Go Jack. After the Bucks and Jack got the win, the Don Callis family came out and they started to attack. Jet Speed came out to help with a couple of weapons, and then the lights went out. And as soon as they were back up, Andrade is back. Andrade is back in AEW. He's back with the Don Callis family. Sure. Why not? So we can do that. Then there was a celebration for Willow because now she's TBS and Tag Team Champ. There seemed to be some kind of weird issue with the lights, which is a running theme tonight. I don't know what was happening with the lights, but they were on, then they were off, then they were dim, then they were bright, then they were spotlights, and then they all came back on. It was just so weird. During all the light issues, Willow invited Monet to come out and speak. Monet came out, didn't say a word, took off her big fancy stupid hat and freaked out, started pulling things off of the celebration table. Statlander grabbed a sheet cake off the table, and then Monet went to attack Willow. Willow moved, Monet tripped, and she smashed her face into the cake, which then went all over the ring. And then she got up and she turned around, and then Willow did her fancy little powerbomb move back onto the cake. So there was cake everywhere. And then they had a conga line around her dead body. So that was interesting. Renee was there. Renee made the caboose of the conga line. Very interesting, very funny. I'm glad that Monet is losing belts. It's time. I'm here for the downfall. Maybe this character will actually start to work in my mind a lot better. Briscoe came on next and cut a promo against Hechicero because they have the TNT title shot, I believe, next Wednesday. I could be wrong. It might be this upcoming Saturday, but as far as I remember, it's next Wednesday here in Phoenix. So we'll see how that goes. After that, the Triangle of Madness came on, and they were like, oh, congratulations, like, Stat has friends again after we called you out a couple weeks ago and we haven't heard back from you, but now you've got friends again. So why don't you bring your friends and we'll see you in the ring and we'll take care of business. Yeah, I'm cool with that. I would like more Triangle of Madness. I think that they work pretty well as a trio. I think that the Sisters of Sin have been working really well as a tag team for a long time. I'd like to see some gold on any iteration of that team soon, hopefully soon. We'll see. I don't know. Who am I? Moving on from there, we had Sammy Guevara versus Bandito. Sammy's talking a lot of shit. Bandito was just like, yeah, man, like, let's go. Like, I'll see you in the ring whenever you want. It was a lot of back and forth in the beginning, and then at one point, Sammy did like a springboard type of deal off the middle rope and got into position to monkey flip Bandito, and he did so, and I think the spot was supposed to be he monkey flips him over the top rope to the outside, but there was a little bit of miscalculation with that, and he just kind of bounced off the top rope, hit the mat, and then rolled to the outside. So it's fine, no problem. Sammy then got on the top rope and did a shooting star press from the top rope to the outside, which is always interesting to watch because you got to time that just right. You either don't go far enough and land on your head, or you go too far and you just end up landing on your feet, and then it all looks ridiculous, and everybody just kind of goes, huh. So, but he pulled it off. Then we got to the just continual line of move after move after move until the win came. There, Bandito went for a 21-plex, and Guevara reversed it and did another springboard off the middle rope, got him in a cutter. Bandito got up and fought back a little while later and ended up doing a pop-up like European uppercut thing, and then hit him with the 21 plex, but it was reversed again into a backflip, and then Sammy Guevara kneed Bandito in the face. Finally, Bandito hit him just right so that he lined up. He got the 21 plex. He got the win. Bandito takes it. And then MJF's music hits as soon as the win comes. So MJF comes out and does a shoot on Bandito. He brought a Hispanic translator with him. I wrote his name down. Jonathan Cruz. And so after MJF does his shoot in English, he has Cruz do the shoot in Spanish, and I'm pretty sure only about 50% of it matched up with what MJF was saying, especially because it lasted about half as long. And then Bandito grabbed the mic and was like, I speak English, you're an idiot. Like, just fight me. Like, I'm going to take your title away. Let's go. And MJF was like, I've got 6 of those Dynamite Diamond rings. You're basically holding on to it. That should be mine. Why don't you hand it over? And then they got into a tizzy. MJF took the ring off of Bandito, put it on, was about to hit Bandito with Cruz holding Bandito. Bandito moved. He hit Cruz. And then Bandito kicked MJF in the balls. And both Cruz and MJF took positions on different sides of the ring, holding onto the middle rope. Cruz got a 21 plex, then MJF got a 21 plex, and then they both ran off into the distance after grabbing the Triple B, and that was that. So next week, the title match should be very interesting. Obviously, MJF is going to win. I can't think of anybody who thinks that they're going to give it to Bandito right after MJF just won it back. So it's going to be a great match, though. It's going to be lots and lots of back and forth and big men slapping man meat. After that came Toni Storm versus Shafir. It was very Shafir heavy for a long time. Toni got a couple decent shots in, and then there was a whole thing where Shafir was like dancing with Toni and essentially mocking the tango that Toni and Orange Cassidy have been doing the past few weeks at the pay-per-view and then on TV. And then Toni somehow reversed. I think Shafir was going for like an elbow, and Toni reversed it and turned it into the big package, because it's not a small package because it's Toni Storm. And ref got to 2, and then let's see, I believe it was Danny Garcia pulled the ref out of the ring. Ref immediately called for a DQ, gave the win to Toni, and as soon as that happened, they started the Death Riders started to attack, and Mina came out to try and save Toni. She got a boot to the face for her efforts, and then Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong came out to save him. Claudio made an appearance and ripped his shirt off, but then they all decided to just take the loss and run off. And Orange Cassidy helped Toni to her feet and did the little tango spinny move and brought her in, and then helped Mina up to her feet and did the spinny move and brought her in. So now it's going to be like a weird throuple. I don't know what's going on. I don't get it. I mean, I get it. I understand, but like, Mina has been against the whole thing with Orange Cassidy because her and Toni are lovers, and now she kind of was like doing a thing and was like, oh, maybe this isn't so bad. I don't know where they're gonna go with this at this point, but we'll just have to wait and see. After that, Darby finally caught up with Pac backstage, and he was like, give me the match, give me the match, give me the match. And Pac was like, you're 0-2, brother, like, kick rocks. And he started to walk off. Darby attacked him with a fire extinguisher and then threw him into a bay door and then dragged him to a regular door and was like, if you don't give me the match right now, I'm going to break your ankle, and like put his leg into the door and was about to shut it when Pac was like, all right, fine, we'll have the match, whatever, like, just eat it and go away. So that was, I mean, that lasted probably 60 seconds for that whole promo thing. And then we got to the main event, which was the lights out match between Hangman Page, Swerve Strickland, against Hook and Hobbs of the Ops. And that was such a fight the entire time. It was there were no weapons at first, and again, more light issues, I think, because it's a lights out match, so they killed the lights, then brought the lights back, then did all the introductions, and everybody walked down to the ring, and then they killed most of the lights again, and it looked like there were 2 or 3 people with like Atari remote controls trying to keep spotlights on everything, and it was not working. It was not working at all. So after like 5 minutes, they finally just brought all the lights back on, and they were just like, sorry, like, yeah, now you can see everything, haha. But there was so much that went on. It started off Hook and Hobbs attacking Page and Swerve as soon as they like slid in the ring, and then it was like attack. And then Page and Swerve got the upper hand, took it to the outside, and there was a lot of back and forth. Everybody was getting thrown into the guardrail or pushed into the stairs or toppled onto the floor or whatever. And then Hook and Swerve ended up on the apron at one point. And Hook did a fisherman suplex to Swerve on the apron, which looked awful. That was a hell of a landing, and I'm glad that these guys know how to roll, because had he just landed on his head, stuck the landing, and then fallen to the floor, that would have been devastating. Word of the night. Paige got put through a table that had gotten... There was a commercial break, and as soon as we came back from the commercial break, there was a table set up in the corner, and Hook put Hangman through that table in the corner. Then Paige got his hands on one of the big staple guns that they're also apt at using, and he put like 4 or 5 staples into Hook, who started crying like a baby, which was very funny. Then Swerve and Hobbs were having a fight, and Hobbs got Swerve up into suplex position, so he's straight. So Swerve feet in the air, and he got his hand on the staple gun, and he started stapling Hobbs's chest while he's upside down. And then Hobbs dropped him, and then brought him immediately back up, and he got a couple more staples in his chest. It's goofy wrestling for life. I swear, I love this stuff. There was just all kinds of stuff. And then finally, Hobbs let go of Swerve and turned around, and Swerve threw the staple gun to Hangman, and Hangman grabbed it and then hit one knee and put a staple right into Hobbs's downtown bonanza. And that actually came after Swerve got out of the suplex position, and then Hangman had just like a piece of drywall and hit Hobbs. And while Hobbs was stunned, that's when he caught the staple gun and was like, blink. And then Hobbs was down for a minute to recuperate. After a little more back and forth, Hobbs picked up Swerve, and Swerve and Hangman brought a pallet of cement blocks. Just a pallet. There were, I think, 9, if I counted correctly. I think it was 3 rows of 3, just boop, and like latched to a very thick like board that could have been picked up with a forklift, and the 2 of them picked it up and slid it into the ring, and Hobbs had Swerve crossbody and just right onto the cement blocks. So Swerve was out for about 2 minutes. That's a 3. I'm aware. I went to public school. Leave me alone. Then the Hobbs dojo, not the Hobbs, the Ops dojo, a bunch of those losers came running out and started putting a beat down on both Swerve and Hangman, and it was a whole thing. They got both guys back into the ring, and Hobbs took one of the chains that either Hangman or Swerve brought down to the ring with them and tied Hangman and Swerve up together around the neck, so they were back to back with the chain around their neck. And Nana had jumped in like a minute before that and stopped Hobbs from giving Swerve a concerto on the cement block pallet. And then Nana got smushed in the corner with the chair by Hobbs, so he was down. And so after Hangman and Swerve got tied up, Nana was like half back on his feet, like he was using the ropes pretty heavy, and somehow he magically just happened to find his coffee cup, and he popped the lid off and he threw the hot coffee into Hobbs's face. And then immediately got dropped to the outside. And then with Swerve and Hangman back to back, they were both holding the chain, and Hangman kicked a couple of the dojo kids, and then Swerve just went and went forward, and Hangman did the backflip thing over top, and they were free of the chain. And then they took the chain and they used it to clothesline a couple more dojo kids. It's so stupid. Finally, though, Hangman popped off like 4 or 5 of his shotgun lariats, and then Hobbs took him over to the cement because he was going to try and do something, and Hangman popped him up and dead-eyed him on the cement blocks real fast. So Hobbs rolled to essentially the apron. He wasn't really on the apron. He was kind of under the ropes, but also kind of like his feet were toward the middle of the ring. And then Swerve and Hangman put the kibosh on Hook trying to do anything, and they were playing with their food essentially for like 2 minutes. And then Hangman took the chain and wrapped it around Hook's neck and threw him over the top rope and hung him. Ha 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 ha. So Hangman hung Hook, and they got the victory. Small celebration, lights on, music plays, everybody cheers. Hobbs and Hook are dead. Half of the people from the Ops Dojo are dead. Nobody knows where Samoa Joe is. And that was the first Dynamite of the new year. And this Saturday, they posted up a couple of what the matches are going to be for this Saturday. I was too busy paying attention to the actual show to see what any of Saturday is going to be. I know that next week they're going to be here, and MJF and Bandito are going to have their thing, and there's going to be several other high class matches. Briscoe and Hechicero are going to have the tizzy for the TNT title. They're hitting the ground strong, and I'm so excited to see what comes next this year, especially now that like we have the Don Callis family getting some wins. I don't think they're going to take the TNT title, but that's fine. They don't need it right now. They're on a little bit of a winning streak, but they have too many people. They're going for the NWO record, I guess. But we'll see what happens now that Andrade's back. We'll see what happens next week with MJF and Bandito and how that match plays out and how long it goes, because good Lord, I can't imagine how long it's going to go. And we're all, so far, everything is good. Everything is good. I'm very excited. Much applause. So, that being said, it's way too far after my bedtime. I'm going to hit the hay after this all gets uploaded. I hope you guys have a great night. Enjoy the rest of the week. Weekend is coming up. I'll see you Saturday night after Collision. Dynamite's tonight. Dynamite just happened. After Collision, and we'll ramp up to see what they do here in my hometown of Phoenix. So, until then, don't take any wooden nickels. Peace.